What? Why did it stop? Hoping to get things done today. Because I am cross-referencing between two Blender versions. Right? You people already knew that. At least, I said that in the last stream, so I'm going to show it on the screen. Hold on. Because I have my quote-unquote base files. Base files. Which is different from the Obsidian base files. I need to explain that too. How did I make a copy? I'll just open both. I'll just open both. Jesus. Okay. Because I'm thinking of making a new folder. Right. Node schematics. Because calling them group nodes is really it's not doesn't capture what I'm trying to. Schematics is much better. Is I'll just put it that way. Schematics is much better. It captures the idea of what I'm trying to do. Is that I'm trying to designate certain ways of doing things. But I'm also trying to separate two versions. Geometry nodes, actually, to be specific. Geometry nodes. Geometry. Right, but I really want to call them not geometry nodes, because a lot of the stuff of their naming conventions is based on a lot of math concepts, which I really want to get into using the journals so we could talk about them. In fact, I really want to. I want to get into that. Why did I make this? What is this? What is this? What is this? It's an odd JSON. What is this? What? Very strange. Oh, okay, I remember now. I remember. I installed MarkMind. Yeah. Yeah. This is weird. I was shocked. Where are these tags? How did I do this? I was trying to read stuff here. But this is gibberish. This is MarkMind stuff, I believe. Which is not something I'm going to use, because I already found a way to capture stuff. Trying to capture. Yeah, I need to separate Blender versions. How should I version? Because there are different versions, and the computers don't. They're different, so they're not. They need to have. I need a way to talk about compatibility. I need a way to separate these files Because maybe this node setup is compatible to my other computer. So I checked, but it wasn't. There was some problems, and I'm trying to study why that happens. Why does anything happen? Okay. Should I make a folder for versions? Hmm. Should I make a folder about versions? Or maybe this is not the right way to approach this. Because they're basically just copies of each other, right? They talk about the same thing. Let's just do this. This is what I'm thinking of doing right now. Nothing I can do if I want to change it in the future, I guess. Nothing I can do. Wait. I really like the 8-bit ones. Because maybe I could all of the texture stuff here in this computer. It's a very it's a really it's a lesser version of the other computer I have, but you can't connect to the internet, which is much stronger if you ask me, because it has a higher version of Blender. Although I believe there's already like Blender 5. It's not really that high, but it's pretty high. So it has already in mind a way to do things much faster, right? There are a lot of things in Blender 2.9, 2.93 that are just the workflow is too slow. So I need to work around that, right? So how do I approach this problem? Is that I need to work on the higher version first, and then work toward work work. What's the right word for this? Is that I'm just going to choose to work on things that are less fast later, so that maybe I can make a way to work around such problems. Because it doesn't really have in mind already. Because it doesn't have in mind things that are already solved. Saying problems that are. You get the idea, okay? You get the idea. I'm getting too caught up on things, trying to describe things. I should just do things. I'm trying to make a notes on. Trying to make a note. So there are two duplicates. should I rather call this like group nodes, geometry nodes, and make versions of them, or should I just say versions and make folders again? Another subfolder for 3.6 group. This is really bothering me. Whatever, okay, whatever. Let's just call this geometry nodes, geometry nodes. Because more or less, they kind of have the same. They kind of have the same workflow when it comes to. When it comes to what was got called topology, retopology. All the mesh work, like the things that you do manually, like sculpting, right? It kind of has more or less. They're the same, so we might as well just have one node for it. But when it comes to geometry nodes, they're not the same. And in fact, they're probably not the same when it comes to a lot of things, like in scripting. But more or less, there are a lot of things that are kept. So they're the same, so I could okay, they're transferable, right? So I guess this should be right workflow. I shouldn't say version. It's going to make a lot of folders. My movement should be the less folder the better. Okay, that should be the movement. Okay, I'm trying to describe things. I'm really bad at English. I'm actually bad at English. I just believe that I'm not. I believe that I'm not. Okay, what am I doing here? Try to describe compatibility, right? Should I use a single item to describe compatibility or two? Because we take two pairs, right? Or rather, what am I doing here? I'm trying to make geometry nodes, right? Let's try to make one workflow. Let's say there's a set called a workflow. Some of the workflows in geometry nodes, maybe they're compatible, maybe they're not. Right? Meshing, why meshing? What am I doing here? Some of them are gonna have the same workflow if they're compatible, right? I should just take note of the things that are not compatible and the reason why. Okay, they're different because it doesn't work here, or they don't have this kind of data type or something. That should be the approach. So instead of saying meshed geometry, I'm just gonna talk about workflows, right? They're going to have the same schematics as my other workflow or other channels, right? That they talk about workflows and they say this workflow is actually compatible. They're actually compatible, right? This is what I'm trying to talk about. So I need what workflows? I need mesh schematics. I need schematic that change the mesh for both of them. So if they match, we just put them here. Correct? Yes, that is correct. There's nothing here. So if they don't match, we'll just put them here. Depending on like what the problem is. So let's say I have a problem. I made this node group. And when I tried to pass it in this version, it went like this because they don't recognize this data type. Since they don't recognize it, I'm going to have to make a new one and let's try to find a way. Maybe there's already a schematic here, or maybe I already made something, right? Like I'm just going to copy paste this exactly. Okay, that's the right approach. Okay. Since we don't have compatibility issues, this is empty, and this is not empty. I need to put this here. This is going to be the name is going to be changed later, but I guess we'll see. It's probably not going to be named mesh schematics. It's more like we have these modifiers. I should probably base that off that. I'm going to put it on screen. I am going to put it on screen. You'll see what I'm trying to tell you. What is this? What is this? I need to close this. Open this. And to put it here. No! No. No, this one. Okay. I'm panicking. Okay. Let's change the music. I really like this 8-bit music, like remix things. See? We have this really representative node group. I could just copy them. Copy paste them. Okay, the middle mouse button is not working. Okay. See? They're repetitive. I could capture this in a node group. In fact, this is wrong. This is really slow. But whatever. I'm getting too sidetracked again. What is this? Or I'm getting too slowed down by the middle mouse, which is not working. Why does everything have to be so hard? Okay. You just really have to press it really hard. I'm just going to change the settings so that I won't have to use that, it seems, because I could probably find a way to change things. I just have to press something, right? I just have to press something, like, I don't know, something useless, like maybe dash, right? Maybe dash. Emulate 3-button mouse. What if I don't have 3-button, right? I'm not going to enter that. Tablet. I have a tablet, but it doesn't have one of those other things. It has another problem. So it's really bad. It's much better to just use it on art programs. But I'm not trying to make art right now. I'm trying to study something. Because you can do math with Blender, right? You can do math. I'm trying to emulate math on Blender. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Because there's just no way. I believe I read this on the manual before, which is that it was somewhere in, was it user interface? More like configuring Blender. It talked about mouse somewhere over here. Alt left mouse button, right? Alt left. Let's see. Alt left. It doesn't do anything. I'm pressing alt left. It's still also using the left mouse button. Left mouse. I don't want the left. I will not want the middle mouse. Right? I don't want that. Okay. I don't have to use that. That's great. This much better. I was really struggling with the movement. Now I'm not. Seems there's a better way to do things. Okay. I'm trying to do this. They don't have dual mesh, right? Which is present in, I think the term dual is a math concept. It's a math term actually. It's math term. Dual topology, dual space. But they don't have it here, it seems. Okay, it's okay. Okay, I can still work with this. But it's really slow. And let's say I'm trying to do something that's like something I need the dual mesh of something. You can't do that here. But I'm going to find a workaround of that. Maybe I could emulate, or maybe I could find the correct node group such that it gives the illusion, or it gives the result rather. The result that is dual mesh. Because they don't have the concept of fields and domains here. Maybe I could show my other computer or whatever. I'm not gonna work here. I should actually work my other computer. But yeah, I attempted to do things here. This is a repetitive node group. I could do. I'm pretty sure they could make this like a group, right? Make group. Yeah, that is correct. Now, okay. Now I could just use this instead. It has that tab out, tab in. Oh, this kind of is much better. I really like this UI design. I much prefer this actually. But okay. Yeah, I could use this for all. Because they're basically the same, it's just that I changed some of the settings. But yeah, that's basically the idea. I could just use node groups. This is really inefficient. I found a way to do things on the other. This is really inefficient. I should probably work on the other one. But let's save this. Okay. I'm trying to work both, right? Trying to make a task manager. Task manager, it has suggesters, it uses a data view where missing data is web pages. Somehow it can detect all the files in the web page. I need to check on that. So how am I going to do this? Right? How am I going to do this? I need to make a note. Template note. Separate template note. Delete this. Yeah, I need to delete this. Yeah. Template, right? Which it contains the web page. Just the page. Let's see. I need a way to capture the idea of knowing everything and the number of pages, the number of what's in the because I'm pretty sure it has a directory structure, which is basically it's a tree, or I think it's a binary tree. No, it's not binary. It has the structure of a tree, or graph rather. Let's just say graph, where we have subgraphs, subtrees, something like that, right? Where in some sense, I don't care about the folders. I just care about the contents of the folder. The folder is just a group, is a structuring mechanism, right? It's just a concept of being inside something, or being a set of something, right? Okay. That's what it's trying to capture. That's what the folders are for. In web pages, at least. Web pages. For example, this something I could take note of. If only I had my notes figured out. Okay, whatever. It's not the same anyway, but more or less it has the concept of that. It has that concept. What is this? But whatever. I'm getting distracted by that small detail that I don't actually didn't know. Maybe it only works for static pages. Maybe it was only working with static pages where they have like all the files, right? This is like this is very strange because before we saw it was just a single line. Here it's readable. It's formatted in a way that it's readable. There's even comments and stuff, right? Okay, I'm getting too sidetracked with this. This is HTML. Or maybe I keep forgetting, but whatever. Getting too sidetracked with this. It's just a small detail. I'm just trying to get to templater. I need to get to templater actually, because I need to know what they're doing with the web pages. Because some web pages are not static. They update and stuff. So they're going to try to save memory or improve performance in the general sense, right? Like if we're not trying to be too technical, they're trying to improve performance. So that's why this explains this, right? I'm trying to learn from web design, right? Web development. Web development. I'm trying to learn from them because they have this whole other system. It's not the process is not compiling. It's not called compiling. It's not called. It's a whole different, right? It's a whole different domain of ideas, concepts, and stuff. Where they make this distributable, right? What are these? I believe this is HTML, but no, it just has that. What is that? It just contains that. Okay, whatever. I'm getting too sidetracked by this. That was not a static page, right? This is a static page. I believe this is going to be a static page. Right? I'm pretty sure. Right. I just wish I knew where. Okay, I think that HTML contains JavaScript. I believe. Do they have like a find functionality here? No, they don't. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, here. I think this is the same as a script, but there's going to be like another problem I'm going to have to deal with, because the way templater works is it's almost like it works using kind of like it's like HTML syntax. Use those brackets. Right? See? Oh no, this is JavaScript, but it has that here when it comes to here. See? These brackets are very reminiscent of HTML. What was it going to do? Let's just try to do this for a moment, or for now. Right? Let's try to focus on this web page and the task manager thing. How am I going to pull this off? Because how I see this optimal workflow, right, is that maybe my current workflow is a curve, which is, it's not the fastest way to do something, right? So how do you make a curve into a straight line, into the shortest possible distance? I think it's not distance, it's path. I think the shortest path between two points. Well, you take their secant. I think that's out the. Let's try to draw this. But it's probably oh no, that's not necessary. But you get the concept, right? You get the concept, which is it's trying to find the most optimal path. It's similar, very similar, very reminiscent. The concept of derivatives, right, in calculus. But I don't believe this is just basic calculus. I just need to derive things. I've watched I've watched math videos and read very little, just very little, about the concept of optimization, and I don't believe it's just basic calculus. There's some other magic stuff that's going on. So I need to read about more about that. But in some sense, that's the basic concept, right? It's trying to find the shortest distance between 2 points, which is a line, or the shortest path, which is a line, right? Optimization of instruction stuff based on user-defined units of efficiency. Maybe I have my own user-defined units of efficiency or something, right? Which we have. We kind of have a unit of efficiency, kind of have in computer science. I'll try to show it to you, but if I don't find it, I'm going to cry. But I'm pretty sure it's here. Okay, they have like the closest concept to a unit of efficiency, which is, it was strange. It used a concept of what was present there is that there was like a geometric sequence constant, something like that. That was present there. Hold on, I might just show it to you. This one. But I should probably open it here. But okay. It's getting too slow. I should probably open it here actually, not there. Because this is the wider one. This is the one that takes notes. Over here, somewhere, where it was trying to minimize the sorting. It was about a sorting algorithm. I could probably apply that concept to how I take notes. It's basically inspired by that. Hold on. Is it this one? No. It used the variable segment. No, I'm getting too far. I think it was very near the beginning. I haven't finished reading this, but it was nice because I haven't finished reading this. Okay, I can't just go up forever. It's just here. Jesus. I'm really using up too much time on something that's... It's just that I don't know what that concept was called. It was a concept, it was a notion. It was that they were trying to... Maybe I'll find it in here, in the contents, table of contents. It was right in the beginning. Ah, this one, Amdahl's law, right? Page 22, Amdahl's law. It's here, it's very near, it's very close. Here where we start with the table of contents, sadly, so that I don't waste too much time. Because my past streams, I was wasting here, this equation. This is the closest thing I can get to a unit of efficiency. insightful observation about the effectiveness of improving the performance of one part of a system, right? So what is this system doing? This observation has come to be known as Amdahl's law. The main idea is that when we speed up one part of the system, the effect on the overall system performance depends on both how significant this part was and how much it sped up. Consider a system which executing some application requires time. Supposed. So what is it trying to calculate? What is S? I need to just know those things. What is S and what is alpha? Alpha over K. Right? I'm pretty sure I knew those. What those meant. What is this? This is really bad. Does it format it correctly? That's another thing I want to know. No. Trying to open this one. Does this format correctly? And it doesn't. Oh, it does. Okay. No, it doesn't. What is this? No. Well, I'll just use snippets anyway. I'll just copy paste snippets. So this is Amdahl's law. I should try to store that somewhere. Jesus. Where should I store it? Here. Don't open that one. There. It's here. Whatever, okay. Getting too sidetracked. Should have the same variable more or less. Let's just copy this. But I don't really need to be formatted that way, right? Is this really bad? I can't read that. Yeah, it's more or less, but it's not that book. What is this called? Computer system? System management? System... Trying to capture this, so that I don't have to look it up again. This is the closest thing we have to a unit of efficiency. Not... What? It copies like that? Why? No, I want it to be... I can't? What's this? I can. How about this one? But if I copy it like this, it's okay. When I have numbers in my copy, right? It's also okay. I just copy this, then. I just want to capture this so that I don't have to look it up. I don't really care about the color, whatever, who cares? Okay. So far, I'm over here. They use two variables. Two time variables. So the time, they call it T old, T subscript old. Why? Because they're trying to capture. They're trying to capture what idea? It on how much it sped up. Oh, okay. So they're trying to capture two moments, right? So I believe these units of time are are when how much a task takes time, right? Or how much time did the task take, I believe. So we have this variable t new and t old, right? So it's a comparative algorithm. It compares two times. We have the new. How did they know that it's like that? If this is going to simplify as t old minus alpha times t old. This is going to simplify that. Do I have already Excalibur? What is the extension of Excalibur? Not Jesus. Excalibur draw. But I want to know if I already have one. I don't have to. Excalibur draw, right? Where is this drawing? Where is this? I want to know where this is. Okay, it doesn't copy it properly, I guess. Oh, why did I close it? Come on. Wasting time. I am wasting time. Copy S from Volt. From Volt, right? From Volt. I just want to know. Okay, I just want to know. Journal drawing. Journal drawing. That name. MD journal drawing. So it's here somewhere. Okay, that's true. Yeah. So I need to open that there. What is this drawing? There's only one. Okay, it seems like I already made that. But whatever. I want to draw something. Come on. Okay. I have the tablet. Let's try to put this here so that I can see it while I'm reading this. What? Okay, they closed the window. Right. I just want to study this basic part. Is there a way to make things smaller? Can I zoom out? Seems not. I want to zoom out, actually. Whatever, who cares? I want to zoom out, actually. That makes things easier. I want to... Where is it? Come on. Where's this? Image. I can add an image, okay. Seems like I can't. I'm treating it like Krita or whatever. Some things are just not going to be seen. I want to simplify that other some kind of form. We'll probably do this in latex, but That's too slow. Something like this, right? Okay. Like that. Seems. Yeah. This is not visible. I don't like it. I need to make it visible. Or I will... Hmm. Is there a way... Come on. How to zoom out and Excali draw, because it seems like they don't have the settings. Okay, I need to use my mouse because I was using my tablet. Okay, that makes okay. That's better. That's better. That is better. So this evaluates to. Can I make it simple so that I can take from both terms something like is all equal to like this, right? This term and this, which is 1 over k. But they're not the same term, and I can't simplify this. So this is not good. This is not good. It's just not good. Is there another way? No. Any other simplification is just going to make it complex. So that's basically the right way to think about things. Yeah, they actually did it, right? Wait. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about alpha. Okay. Forgot about alpha. Very not good. You shouldn't do that. But the math people are going to kill me. Okay, from this we can compute the speed up. So S is speed up, right? Okay, so this is like an identity, I believe. But this is like a new term. S is a new term. Identity between what, though? Between T old to T new. But this is different. This is just S, right? S as terms of... Oh no. T old and T new as in terms of S. Oh no. S as in terms of T old and T new. Or time old and time new. Okay. Because it can be the case that the new time is slower, right? So I want to capture that. One over alpha. We already seen that over here. How can I make it so that I just capture 1 over alpha? What is 1 over alpha, right? 1 over alpha is basically T new. I want to write this because it's it's an equality, right? It's an equality. Wait, hold on. It's an equality, or maybe I should do it like this. Make this better, right? Zoom in a little. Okay. T new. Hold on. Where's the eraser? T new is just... Oh wait, no. 1 minus alpha, which is over here. I need to write the whole thing. Or is that Q? Is that a new... No, that's not a new term. That's not a new term. Right? Yeah, I can't simplify that. Okay, whatever. I need to put a line here so that it's not the same. It's actually not the same. This is all equal to, right? This is all equal to, or it's actually it's an equality, but it's not equal to this. Whatever. Um, what is 1 over alpha? Or 1 minus alpha, right? 1 minus alpha, if we try to simplify things based on this, we get t nu. Oops, this is really poor penmanship. T nu what? T nu over T old, it seems. T nu over T old. Minus. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Alpha over K. Does that simplify this? No. But I did see something, right? Of what alpha is. I could even simplify this further as to alpha is equal to this whole term, this whole term over here, minus 1 or plus 1, right? That's what alpha is. They don't really say what alpha is on the book, though. They do say what K is. Maybe they do say what alpha is. Do they? Should be here. I can highlight it here, right? I should highlight K. So that it will be simpler next time I visit this. But what is... We have T old. We have T new. But they don't have alpha. They don't talk about alpha. They don't talk about alpha. We need... Okay, let's just read the whole thing. Gene Amdahl, one of the earliest pioneers in computing, made a simple but insightful observation about the effectiveness of improving the performance of one part of a system. The observation has come to be known as Amdahl's law. The main idea is that when we speed up one part of a system, the effect on the overall system performance depends on how both significant this part was and how much it sped up. Consider a system in which executing some application requires some time, T old. Suppose some part of the system requires a fraction of alpha. Okay, so that is what alpha is. A fraction of time. So this is I will call this the required time, right? The required time for the task, I believe. Is that right? What is alpha? Over here? Where? I think it was a little later they talk about T old. Suppose we have a system on a fraction of time, fraction alpha of this time, right? Which is a fraction. Here it's a factor. It's also a factor in the second term. So in English, how can this be expressed? Right? Oops, that's wrong. So alpha is like the required time. K is like a factor somehow. It's an inverse factor, which is that its proportion is inverse. It's an inverse proportion, right? Is that if it grows, the whole term becomes smaller, right? If it grows, the whole term becomes smaller. That is, the component originally requires time. Time alpha T old over K. So what could K be? And what could alpha be? Alpha could be... Like, I need an example, like a real world example. Alpha could be the time it takes to do something. Like, it needs to be like the time it takes to fold up clothes or something, right? That could be alpha. And the two terms that are t are could be the actual time. So what could be alpha, right? How could we know what alpha is? Unless if it's all just, it's all like an average time, right? Maybe alpha means an average time it takes to do something. And the terms, both t terms are the actual, right? The actual values that it took on this particular case, investigation, etc, etc, right? That is the component originally required that time, right? And I requires originally required, oh no, it originally required alpha t old. Now it requires, that's why it's added with that. Is that right? Because this one is suspicious. Now it requires this. The overall execution would thus be, as an example, consider the case which part the system that initially wait. I need to read the whole thing. They already have an example. Consider the case where a part of a system that initially consumes 60% of the time. Initially, right? That's what alpha in this case is. It's better by a factor of 3. That's how they do it. Okay. It initially consumed. So alpha is more close to the variable t sub old. And the k factor seems to be closer to the... Okay, but it needs both variables though, to be able to tell what k is. So how can I know what k is? We already know what alpha is. But can we know k? Right? This whole term plus this. Okay. That's what a is. What is k then? What is k? I could. No, I can't do that. I could do this. This whole term a. That's alpha, right? Wait. How can I know what k is? Because I can't put s here. Because s seems to be an inverse of t old. It seems to be, but doesn't have the t old for you. It's very strange. No, I can't express this in terms of s. Right? I can't express this in terms of s. Even though we do have this, like it's a whole term. I can't separate this. Okay. I have my other computer turned on. It's really bothering me. And I'm now trying to solve this equation. Okay. What am I doing? Trying to get. Let's just do that, so that I can simplify things. I could add it on. Say this. I could then say this. Let's just for the sake of my sanity, I'm just going to do this. Right? I'm just going to write it down because it's really hard if I do it mentally. Do everything mentally. T old, right? I want to get k. But since it's a denominator, it's gonna end up like this. It's a very strange equation, but whatever. I'm just going to make do. Now we have this alpha, which simplifies more or less. And I can always check with alpha, right? I can always check with alpha. Or I could just simplify this, remove this, put over here, 1 over k. I could just say k is equals to this, but in reverse, or in an inverted form, right? Where alpha is over the top. This is really messy. I could have done better. -1 minus t. We say that. And I could always check if it makes sense. Because this is what alpha is, right? In some sense, it does make sense. Here it's a factor, tilde is a factor, whereas here yeah, because if I want to use alpha on the left hand side, it would be an inverse. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It all makes sense because here it's a fraction, but it's a single term. It's a separate term. Is this right? Wait, no, this is actually wrong. This is not alpha. Alpha's in both sides. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. This is not alpha because we have alpha on the other side. I need to get both alphas. This is wrong. It's okay. It was kind of messy anyway. That's why it was a little wrong. It felt like it was a little wrong. But that is what K is. Now I'm working from scratch. I need to get both alphas, okay. I could do this. Right, because it's a factor. No, that was wrong. Or I just need to switch these two. So that's over here. T old T new. T old. Oops. T old T new. I could just put the 1 here, right? No, it's positive. It's negative. Should be negative and 1 over k. One of them has that factor. I could just say here. In fact, alpha, since it's negative, -1 plus 1 over k. Could put this over here. So I would say this is the true equation, okay. And I can always check with my other equation if it's correct. Can this be over here? No. So I need to multiply it with tilde, so no. I don't want to do that. Ah, it's like this. This is gonna look weird because it's 2 fractions or whatever. It's 2 fractions. Hopefully it's correct this time. It doesn't look wrong. Because we have an alpha on the top and another one on the bottom. Makes sense. Okay, at least, okay. I was just trying to get a hold of that. Because it simplified this, right? It simplified to this. Which is also This is really interesting because I think I'm not so sure. I think this is in like in a geometric sequence of some kind, right? It's an equality in geometric when it comes to like harmonic sequences, etc. But I really like their example though, and I really need to name this. Note. I don't know where to put it, but let's just put it. Um. Sheesh. It's really slow. I just want to put it somewhere. Maybe I should just put it here. I don't really need to rename it. If I want to render it on this page, can I? Ooh, I can. This is nice. Okay. So there's that. And I believe this is like a limit, right? Because it's s to the infinity. There's no infinity. There's no value called infinity in discrete math. You need to deal with some calculus stuff when you deal with infinity. There's like about approximations and stuff, or equalities. But okay, it sometimes that this doesn't make sense for now. This doesn't make sense. But it's nice to make progress with this. So that is what alpha is. That is what k is. Alpha is the percentage, where k is a factor. It's an inverse factor. At least how it's used. No. It's a factor. It's definitely a factor. I don't know why they'd use this term. Alpha times the old time, right? This makes sense. Because what is this trying to find? This first term. T old minus alpha times T old. It says here that is the component originally required some time alpha times old. It makes sense. How to draw it? I want to go there. Let's just copy paste. I want to go there just by clicking. Just by means of clicking. Right. I'm trying to take note of it in terms of like graphically, maybe. Which I already wrote this equation actually. I already wrote this right here. But can I explain it here in such a small space? Maybe. Do they have like a lasso tool? What is this? Frame tool? What is frame? I don't like that. But it's nice. I do need like a lasso though. What is this? Laser? No. Can I move this? I just want to use this bit here and move it somewhere, or in fact, I just want to use this rather. Can I do that? Move this over here, enlarge it so that it's in the same. Here, I tried to equalize everyone. I tried to find what A is. I tried to find it. That's what I did there. Tried to find that. Now I want to know what the terms mean. So let's try to draw. This, can I use a different color? I want to use a different color. They don't have different colors? They have different widths. Toolbar. Jesus, no. Need to go to the toolbar. Is it here? Is it here? Oh, it's here, okay. They don't have red. Something like red or blue. Does it really have to be this collection? But whatever. I mean, it's different, so whatever. Though it is too thin, I need to see it. Just this. And a different color, let's use pink. This. Right? The first term simplifies to this. Simplifies to this. Which makes sense. It's a add and factor of, like in the example, if we try to use this equation, what does this give me? What was the old time? To know what that is. But they don't have that. They only have what S is equal to. Did they do have already have like a 66% is no. They don't have those variables. They use this immediately. It seems they don't have the time variables. Okay. That's why they came up with this, which is 1.67. They didn't use that, it seems. Should I approximate, or should I try to solve it? What t new and t old are? Just to study what the terms mean? I don't know. See how quickly the entire system. I don't know. No, in some sense it doesn't. It doesn't help us because here the first time is equal to 1. This is equal to something, right? The sum of this. No. It's not gonna give us, some information is lost. It's not gonna give us, in some sense it doesn't matter what time is, right? It doesn't matter. But I do want like something that deals with the actual time. Okay, but this is as far as I can go. Okay, I need to move on. That was just, that was just a glimpse of efficiency, right? What was it trying to do? It was trying to, the system, right? The system was, it was trying to comparatively judge or conclude something based on what was sped up. It was trying to get a variable called s, but for now it's really abstract. Or maybe I don't need that to implement this, right? I don't really need it. So I already kinda did make up something, right? It's not going to be called mesh control, but there will be node groups that deal with mesh control, or control the mesh, at least. Right? But it's not going to be called mesh control. I'll just leave it unnamed then. Should go to tag wrangler. Do I have tag wrangler? No, I don't. I should probably learn to use OVM so that I can manage things when it comes to plugins, but I should just make do. 99% of what I'm going to do in the stream is just make do things. Make do with what I have. Since I don't know how to use OVM, sadly, right? What was I doing? Tag wrangler. I have it. Why is it not here? But it is here, though, I guess. It's not going to be mesh control, because most of the group nodes here are going to be about controlling the mesh, at least. Like we can use textures to control the mesh, turn them into islands, right? But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested about doing operations on the mesh, which is what this is doing. But it's not mesh control. This is it's a really nice way to make, it's a cube. It's a subdivided cube, let's say. Subdivided cubes. Let's try to describe this descriptively. It's a dual subdivided cube, which looks like a sphere. If you look at what the nodes are doing, right? Yeah, should I write it like this? Camel case? That should be good. Because this node group is used somewhere. It should be called mesh control, but it is about mesh. I'm going to make more node groups about mesh, right? Is this a good thing to group? Yes, it is, because it's saying a lot of things. And it's probably something that I can reuse a lot. Because it has a really nice shape. It can be used a lot in general. It's expressed in quads though, so that's another thing. I'm seeing a lot of topologies that don't use quads. So should I categorize them based on quads and tries? Maybe I should make a label system rather, right? A label system for this node group is really good at making quads. Quad topology that, okay, based on your specifications, looks like a sphere, but it basically uses quads. So this node group is called this node group is called dual subdivided cube, which is it's a dual cube subdivided twice, I believe, or it also has extruded. Maybe I should deal with that separately. But for now, I guess it's like this. Okay, it's like this. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. What should I call this? Fuck, I should probably not group it like this. But I will make a label system so that I can get to the right node groups. Okay. And maybe I want to remove this because I don't want the extruding node to be here, and I want to do it somewhere else. Right? Because usually when it comes to that extruding, maybe you could extrude something another mesh, right? You could do a lot of things. In fact, I want to do that. But I don't know if I should make it stag. I'll just leave it for now. Nice quad. Seems... what I really like about streaming is that it's helping me focus and just deal with something like straightforwardly, so that I don't have to. I'm easily distractible. Should I separate the extruding points? Or should I make a separate node group from math stuff? Because usually when you have inputs that deals with math, like trigonometry, right? Maybe you want to control angles. You don't usually want to make them a node group. That's really weird because they're really very customizable, right? They're customizable. What should I do? In fact, this node group is actually not good. Not that good. It's just it gives out a nice topology. Maybe what I should do now is that sometimes I want to get the notes of the web pages here, so maybe I should focus on that instead of trying to take notes of Blender. So that's what I should do, right? Okay, let's start to develop that logic so that I can end the stream. Maybe do it off stream, right? Maybe the next time I stream, I finally publish something. Maybe. Okay. Tool blocks, right? Tool blocks. These tools can communicate each other, right? That's what I want to do. So they need to have like a sub functionality that is able somehow. It works on data view, right? So it needs to have a set of properties, not properties. Let's just call it arbitrarily for now function properties or tool properties, right? Because in case I want this tool to communicate with the web pages, it's gonna have the right properties just enough so that these tools can have the right. I'm just using just enough properties, right? This is what variables are called. They're called properties. Objects are called properties here. Okay. So what should I do? The web page journal. Web page, which mainly use a templater. Yeah, because I don't believe the only time it will use data view is that to Tool properties. That's it. Which is basic. It's data view, but that's it. That's the only data view that I can think of, which is a way for these tools to communicate. Right? That's it. That's the data view. Because when it comes to static, I need to check. Although I need to check. I don't know what's going on with the web pages. So let's check. I want to take web pages from this website, right? Specifically. Right? Let's read. Let's read. It has daily quote. Random picture. Maybe it's gets a random image. What do you mean get? Like, random picture with size and query. I need to specify the size. Very strange. What if it's the wrong size? Request makes an HTTP request to the specified option. You can specify a path to extract specific data from the response. So I think this is what I'm looking for, right? This request. I just put the website and that's it. So that should be a tool property, right? The website. Let's put it here. Right, URL. URL what? Though. URL of the journal. What it's trying to journal, right? Journals can have multiple URLs, right? They can. Obsidian has multiple URLs, or there are a lot of websites, meaning there are a lot of URLs that talks about Obsidian. So that is one thing. It's just that when I make a website template entry, let's call it website entry, right? Because it's just an entry, it's not the whole journal. When I make a website entry, web page entry template, it's going to have a URL. Let's put it here. This is why I make separate vaults, because as you can see with the last vault, it was really slowing down. I should have dealt with that book maybe in a separate vault, maybe something like, it's not called CS, but something. where is this gonna get this URL, right? Where is this going to get that URL? It needs to have, the journal needs to have an index. So it needs to be stored somewhere, right? It has to be stored somewhere. Let's make a new note then. It's a one-time note, so I can create it. Let's put all the properties, since it's free for me to manipulate, right? I don't need that. Oops. What am I doing here? URL, right? Web page. In fact, let's be specific. So that only specific templates are going to... Maybe I can change it later, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. Web page, right? Web page. Journal. Right. Just to say journal. Because I want to deal with the specific URLs of the specific subpages. Or because it has a directory, right? It has a directory structure here, right? As you can see in the URL. So we say web page journal URL. Should I use camel case? I don't know. Let's just use camel case just to be safe. It doesn't really matter, it's readable. Should they be a key value pair? Meaning I should use different way to look things up, or different formatting, different rendering. But that for now doesn't really matter. To think about this. Would it be rather that I use because the object is really much better in this case. It's much better, it's just it organizes things. It organizes things. So that it only needs to refer to one variable. I don't have to use too much variables. This is an object which contains lists of texts. It's an object that contains lists of texts or strings rather, right? Because a URL is just a string. Okay. It contains lists. Is that correct? What is wrong? Maybe like that? Or maybe no. Because it can contain, pretty sure. It's over here. See? This is the front matter, right? Something's wrong. What is wrong then? I'm just gonna keep writing. They're not separate though. This is an object. What are you doing? They don't have object data type. This is the closest thing to an object. It's typed like this. For some reason, the data view says it's there's obviously some errors going on. So it must be not true, right? I want it to be parsed as an object so that I don't have to make too much variables. Like this property pointing to this property. Like I'm thinking in terms of like pointers. I don't have to do that. Lists. Where was that? Is that correct? We'll see. We'll see. Because they said objects are okay. I want to write it in JSON then. Seems this is the only sane solution. Okay, so I can't write it in JSON. I can't write it in JSON. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have that. No, it's not fixed. There is not going away. It's not going away. I guess, yeah, something like this. That Obsidian is a list of strings. Also, that was what I was trying to do. Okay, now I'm running into another problem. Okay, let's just make it like this. So now it's not complaining. Okay. So I want Obsidian to be a list of strings. I want this to be. Let's see how Obsidian's going to parse this or render this. I don't know. I don't know what the right word is, but I'm just trying things out because it said you can do this, but it seems like they're giving me errors. They said, right? They said that you can add an object property. Did I miss something? They don't wrap it in quotes. They add a tab. For I believe this is a tab. This is a tab, right? Come on. This is a tab. It's a tab. This is a tab. Or it seems to be two spaces. Let's try to rewrite this on a new note, right? Same way. This. Let's copy paste this. Let's copy and paste this. Because they said you can do that. But it seems like they're giving me errors. Or maybe this is an inline field. Maybe that's why I can't. Oh wait, you can. It's just a. Wait, what? It has to be an inline field. This has to be an inline field. Why is it called from matter? But how data view treats it is that I believe it renders correctly. Is that it? Is that if I make a data view table, table something like thoughts, and based on their examples, it renders correctly. That it Oops. No, 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 no. What was I doing? I really hate this. Because you can't see it there for some reason. Go on. Isn't this an example? Come on. See? It's the same example. Is it that I'm using the wrong... this dot file dot fonts dot rating. Why? This has to be like an inline. How can I access that? How can I access this? That's not an inline field. That is not an inline field. Object, because it feels like, yeah, more prompt matter of object syntax. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. See, even in width. This looks like backticks. Why are these backticks? Those are tabs, it seems. Isn't this the front matter? Right? Let's copy everything. Because it seems like it's saying has to be the right. Why does it give me this extra stuff? It does present it in a list. Table. So it seems okay, I can access, but it just doesn't format or render correctly if I leave it as visible. It seems okay. Hold. If this is true, we don't have any because there's no okay. Seems to work. Seems to work. Seems to work. Let's just leave it then at source because Obsidian is very bad at rendering stuff. It seems that we have an object type, right? We have an object type. They put a tab here. Every part of the and is it here? Because I don't like this. It's really clumsy. This one. But I just want the webpage URLs, right? Webpage URLs. Webpage journal URLs, right? Because I'm going to make a separate journal for the webpage. And they're going to have their own tagging system. Maybe they're the same as the journal itself, or a different journal that's not about web pages. I don't know how you can make a journal. Because in some sense they're already journals. The web sites. They kind of already are. Just I need a way to separate them in tags, right? But maybe I want to talk about it more. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something else about this certain topic, right? Okay, let's make them journal, separate journal, or journal of their own. Let's see. Seems that they do already automatically. I want this to be of type list, right? This is about Obsidian. Or is this the right way to approach it? Should I make... No, I just want to know if... Because if I want to check... If I already have this kind of websites, journal about Obsidian on the internet, because sometimes you don't need internet to read things, right? Sometimes you don't, and that is good in some sense, right? Yeah, that's correct, Sometimes you have multiple websites talking about Obsidian, right? Let's try to... No. I want this to be a collection of string. I want this to be an object of its own. Can I do that? Or I want this to be lists, right? Can I do that? No. It seems like they're not supporting that. They don't have that support, it seems. Isn't this a list? Isn't an object that contain... Okay. It's just that they can't support this. So I guess I have another way. It doesn't have to be like this, I guess. I'm just gonna say... Is that right? You can have multiple... They're the same name, right? I can't, it seems. Okay, I was trying to work around it. Isn't list an object type? No, isn't list a property type? Or is a data type? It's over here. See? It seems that the object data type can't contain lists. Maybe because they're lists of their own. Okay, they can contain lists. Okay, this is nice. So I was right. So I can make this. These, I believe, are text or strings. I mean, so they need to be strings, right? Can I erase them? Yes. They can be null. Okay. I'm onto something. Yes. Obsidian. No. What? No. Is this right? What am I doing? No, this should not be. This talks about plugins. So, right? So I should make a separate journal for the plugins. Yeah, I should. Yeah, this is correct. But in some sense, I don't need to make it about this. No, this is correct. This is all correct. What am I doing? Okay. Obsidian. Obsidian's written in TypeScript. We need web pages that talk about TypeScript, right? In fact, I could make a whole journal that talks about TypeScript. And maybe I talked something about there. I remember something. Oh, I talked about this right here, and I could just copy and paste it. I could automate that copy and pasting using OVM, I believe, right? It's all very okay. I'm onto something. It's all moving towards something. I don't know how to write this. Is it okay? Because okay, it's okay. I need a way to talk about TypeScript, JavaScript. I need a way to talk about the plugins, extensions in general. Is OVM an extension? It kinda is. It's just that it's a system tool, or that it you need to go outside Obsidian, or it doesn't use the Obsidian API, or it's independent of Obsidian, right? It's independent of it. So I'm just gonna make that a whole journal, which is about extensions. It doesn't need Obsidian, right? This is correct. So it's a list. You can talk about it. There's a lot of topics there, okay? CSS. Do I need to talk about CSS? Yes. Yeah, this is abbreviated. HTML, markdown language in general. Right, it has websites. I also need one that isn't a website. But for now, this is what I'm working on with web page entries, right? I want them to be connected because web pages are they don't really talk. They have a URL, but they have I need a way to talk about this, but they're different. Like website, like the manual in Blender, it's the same. I think it's the same. There's definitely a structure there, but I don't know what that structure is. It's just that it's a file. It's a distributable. They have to like run a single website, right? It has multiple sections in it. It has multiple pages. The home page, the okay, right? But it's a single website, so that I don't have to make multiple web pages. There has to be like an indexing system for these web pages, right? I don't have to like write down every web page here. So Obsidian has multiple websites. Let's say it has multiple websites and multiple web pages. But web pages just belong to a single website, right? They belong to a single website. It can be a static website. Static website, right? Is that right? We'll see. I should work on TypeScript for now. TypeScript, JavaScript, templater. So let's try to put that down instead of trying to find more. What else is there? Right. Can I enter okay, I can enter a string. Right? I can edit this, but can the system okay. They can, I'm pretty sure. I hope they can. I hope both of you can edit this. let's say I have a metabind structure that in some sense uses a JS engine logic. Like, it found an optimal way to do things. It just needs to enter this web page. Hopefully I can do that. Okay, let's just input this here. Obsidian documentations docs, right? Let's just say that for now. Dev docs 1, the dev docs. This also is dev docs. So should they be separate? Yeah, they should be separate. Because they're a whole different. Yeah, they are a whole different. Okay, I should make a separate property code indexes, right? Journal index. Let's just make it singular. Web page journal. Correct. We tab. Okay, write something. It goes crazy. I should just copy this. Because it's probably using like a different character. I don't know. Has that weird thing going on? It's probably just space. I don't know. What is going on? What? Why? Why? It's just two spaces, I think. What is wrong? Oh, they're the same. Okay. Okay. Or should just be just a list. I think there should just be a list. It's a list of tags. Can I do that? Is it okay? Is it possible to make a list of tags? I want the index to be a tags. Or to be, in fact, I want the index, no. Yeah, actually tags. Tags for now, they work as tags, right? I could make it a note, but later. How do you make... Objects are maps of multiple fields under one parent field. They can be defined in YAML. They're strings, they're using strings, but... Oh. Index... Maybe I should just put a hashtag at first. I want them to be tagged so bad. This is not gonna render correctly if I put it to visible. Right? Very strange. Because you already saw. Doesn't really matter. I guess I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to want these functionalities to work. Whatever, let's just write it down. We want a tag for Obsidian, we want a tag for this, a JavaScript journal. Which is that there's a TypeScript side of Obsidian, right? They use classes. I should probably not talk about JavaScript here, actually. Because I'm thinking I should just talk about, like, maybe because TypeScript is compiled to JavaScript, right? It's compiled to JavaScript, but it doesn't talk about JavaScript here. It uses TypeScript, so yeah. Markdown, sure. Markdown. MD. Right, because you can use HTML here. You can use HTML. There are probably a lot of Markdown language I haven't talked about. The ones I only knew are HTML and Markdown. Simple Markdown language. I think it's called Markdown. It's just called Markdown, I think. MD. Okay. There's another one. Okay, there's another one called TypeScript. Oh, there's another one called extensions. Or extension. Right, where it talks about, supposedly talks about here. What should it talk about? Data view plugin. I should always have this plugin suffix. Oops. Suffix. Talks about computer. Metabind, right? Oops. If I want to do some analysis of some kind, right? They have in some sense the same suffix. We also have DevDocs here. DevDocs have everything. But not really. Okay, that was an exaggeration. Doesn't have Markdown. Okay. Are there other places? I don't know. I haven't known. But I'm expecting that there will be. There will be other websites that talk about Obsidian. Or maybe even just snippets where it talks of Obsidian, right? Maybe in a Reddit post or something. I'm willing to put it here. Yeah, I'm willing to put it here, yeah. In fact, this is probably why I'm making this. Okay. Let's try to implement this because we now have the data. Let's put it in our templates. They should be deleted. I thought I was going to make up a separate alternative. Maybe this doesn't work. Okay, I placed this idea here, but I didn't need to. Okay. Note system entry. I don't know what to put there, but I do know what to put in the webpage entry, right? Which is here. To open something else. So I need to take note of what I'm doing because templater has a syntax, right? It's a language of its own, but it's a small language. It's a mini language that depends on Obsidian. You can't use it if there's no Obsidian, basically, right? Or it's useless rather if it doesn't have Obsidian. But it is a language of its own. It's not Obsidian. Okay. What am I to we do have templates. We have reports for tasks, for signatures. This signature didn't work, something like that, I guess. Did I make a folder for reports? I did. Interesting. I need to take a break. I need to take a break. later know anything about the web page it's trying to get things from. It just says here it gets a random image. Make the HTTP request to specify URL. Optimally, you can specify a path, extract specific data from the response. Extract specific data. Where is this data ending up? How do I know? Or, or rather, maybe I already know, and I can just input it, right? I should have that option too. I should have that option too. Maybe I already have like a directory. Maybe. Let's make it as close as possible to already existing hotkey. Right. let's make it close to that. I already have this. Good. It's fine. It's going to be here. The Obsidian journal. I should probably rename this. This is not going to contain. Will it contain only Obsidian journals? Journal entry? Maybe I should rename it. Whatever. Okay. It's going to make a HTTP request there. Let's try something else. Because I don't know what this is going to give me. I don't know, maybe it'll work. Let's try. Let's try. Is this an actual website? Okay, so they use strings, which is good. Which means this is JavaScript, right? You can put logic there. Wow. It is an object, right? It is a JSON file. That's why it said objects. That makes sense. Okay. But it's... I want something else. Let's try... Is this even... Let's try 2. Pretty sure I copied the other one. Not here. For some reason. It's this one, right? It seems that it has another web page in it. It's a website with a web page in it. Hopefully it's gonna give me something. Delectus ad autumn. I don't know what that means. I This is different, I think. What is this website? They're very strange. JSON placeholder. What is this? I believe this is like the web page, right? It's a page. So it's a page, so I could just put it here, right? Something like that? It doesn't exist. Oh, okay. It's an object, I think. This is like key value. It has the structure of key value, something like that. It has to be like 0. Something like that. Indexing system thing. Getting. What if I write 1 here? What if I write 1? I should save this. This is interesting. I like this. Now to save this idea somewhere. In fact, I should make it a journal, but it's not a web page journal. Yeah, these are objects. Most indifferent. Ski value pairs. It's just a JSON. It's just a JSON, right? All websites use HTML to some extent, so I could use that. Obsidian uses Markdown language, which HTML is a category of. Right? It's a Markdown. It's a Markdown language. Okay. These are just Obsidian classes, I believe. So you can ask us that? Is that what I mean? Is that what this means? Yeah, it can access, okay, the Obsidian API itself. Obsidian API, not itself. Hooks module, this module access hooks, it's execute code, templates event occurs. When a template event occurs. Yes, I could use this. So it executes when a template is. I need to know. I just need to know on all templates. Is this it? Is this it? No. This will be a single template unless you are using TP file include or if I know you can make files. Here. Right? Create new, right? Rename is for moving files. Also, I get that. You can access the front matter, it seems. It doesn't use the nodes thing. Use JavaScript array to manipulate how the data is displayed. This really, I don't like this. It doesn't access the file itself. It doesn't use that. It's like the data view. It just uses properties. It doesn't know which nodes have that property. It just says front matter variable name was stated. That's the syntax. Looks like square brackets somehow. I don't need this. I should work with this and the front matter, right? This is what I'm going to work with. It's going to be difficult. Because I want also a node that contains all the websites in the world. All the websites in the world. Right? I don't want to input them one by one. But that is a template or okay. To do. Whatever. I'm getting to the truth. It's just that I already know all the websites I want to visit. They're all mostly static websites. I maybe need to deal with non-static. Maybe I don't know. Since I don't really need like to download videos, I just want to tag certain texts. Right. This is what I'm trying to do. Then maybe talk about some things and for example, I want to talk about data views objects property. For some reason it can contain objects themselves. Or can they? I don't know. So to keep the conversation moving, right? Yeah, they can't. They don't. Or I haven't tested it. Maybe I want to contribute, but that's too much. Yeah, I'm going to have these user functions if I'm going to make good complex. But it seems like I don't need, really don't need. Seems like it. Also having ideas about Blender, and I'm going to need that web journal thing. I'm going to put it into Blender, my Blender journal, so that I can use the manual. I don't like the manual that they give because it doesn't work on Blender. It doesn't work. Does it work? The one that they have, it's really slow. It's really lagging. I'd rather have like a web page. Right? It's separated like that. So also help me deal with all my other documentations that help me. Although I can't read all of them because it's not going to work productive to just read them all of them. And so says I also want to talk about them and test them. Right? This is what I'm doing. I don't know how these things will work, but they're definitely notes that I could work on, and I should probably make a folder for these things. Oh, it was a lose. It was my headphones. That's why I screamed. Jesus. I should make them now. Because they use data view, they use templater, they use multibind, and I can always render them tasks, but this is not task manager. Should I make a separate note? I really want like a reference system. Task manager. These are tasks though. What am I doing? I'm wasting time. Because a workflow is different from a task. The workflow informs the task manager, right? The workflow is informed by the notes. Okay. I do have tasks already in some sense, so I should just start. Instead of like trying to think of a way to make this better. It'll never happen, okay. What am I doing? Can I tell? Did you just have two spaces? It's okay, it's YAML. It's YAML. It's probably a YAML thing. No. I should start doing something. I should use MetaBind to render something here. Should use syntax here. And here. Where you can render something. Hey, it's not created yet. I can't, but I can use JavaScript. It's just that it's really weird. I can't put multiple code blocks, right? Can I put code blocks using JavaScript? Maybe I already know this. I don't want to ask. So maybe I already know this. Right? JavaScript. That if you can't use JavaScript, what template you can? I think template has a JS engine, so I'm going to use that to do this, to put multiple render blocks, right? To put code blocks. Okay, so I have that. Let's check MetaBind then. Let's check MetaBind. Do you have JS engine? It's not particularly the same as JavaScript, but it uses JavaScript nonetheless. Where is it? JS engine. I need to search for it. They're kind of the same. Okay, but this is simpler. Okay, I like this. Let's use this. They don't they're inside of JavaScript. What? It is not being shown on the screen for some reason. I hate this. Okay. It's not showing on the screen? Okay. Oh, stupid. Okay. Desolate the earth. It says here, Metabyte offers JavaScript API. Documentation. To use the API, you need some way to execute JavaScript. This can be done with a plugin like or data view. Or data view. Before you can use the API, you need to get a reference to it. Sheesh. Okay, so I'm going to have to study this. It's a whole other thing. It's just a whole other thing. It seems that this is the right path. This seems to be the correct thing that I'm doing. I need to use JS Engine to be able to have to be able to put multiple code blocks and thus multiple renders or multiple nodes being rendered. So it's kind of like a dynamic way. I don't think dynamic is the right word. It's like an anonymous number of parameters, right? It's anonymous. We don't know how many. This is stuff where I need to instruct JS Engine or Metabyte to look for scripts in particular. But I can't see that in the settings of either plugin. No. I feel like this is... Can I visit? He says you need some way to run data view. But data view doesn't, you need some way to run JavaScript, but data view doesn't run JavaScript. Do they? This is get. What am I doing? Is this? I think this is it. This is what I'm looking for. I don't need JS Engine. Okay. Let's try not to use JS Engine. Access data view, and this is query engine. to end this stream thing, but there's a lot of things I need to also do before I end it. Wait, why? It should be here. It should be here. It's actually not the right name for that. I actually don't know what to name this. It should be unnamed. But it is something. And I can derive something from it. Here. This should be unnamed. Okay. Let's copy some things. This takes a vector. You should remove these. Copy these, but I need to omit something. Nice topology. Or round cube. No, round or spherical rather. Spherical shape or spherical shape rather. Spherical shape with quads. Something like that. Something like that. Because I want quads, but I also want tries. Sometimes. It's true. What's the difference? You thought was something. I need to know what that is. I don't know what to call this. But I need to write about the math. And also, I've already had ideas. I hope it's enough before I end the stream. Able to write something. Oops. I don't know how to make it so that VS Code will be integrated so that it detects the Obsidian API or something. I don't know. So I can use the objects there so that it highlights things and stuff. This is CS. This is CS. You have to open it. Open somewhere. very first import. Not oh no, not file folder. Not file, but folder. Data view can run scripts. It seems. It can export. Oh no. Can it import functions? I want to know how it works. No, this is too much. I don't think I can implement my ideas right away. But I'm going to try. And I'm going to use the same idea on Blender because I want to use this without downloading the manual. Really going to manual. Although it works unlike other PDF readers, I want the web page. It's much better. I only want separate pages. Plus, I'm learning about JavaScript. How do I know what the render something? So this is like a metabind way to do things. In some sense, I don't even need metabind, but I don't think they have like buttons. Is metabind like just data view? It even has asynchronous. Yeah, I can't make this template to the web page channel thing. Plus I need to do this. Yeah, I need to end the stream. Bye. It's too much. There's a lot of things going on. It was nice to have all this. They're giving me a new way. A new data type or a new. Yeah, a